Welcome back. Investigators are still searching for a motive in the Las Vegas massacre, 1 week after the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. New reports this morning are suggesting that Stephen Paddock may have had a severe mental illness that went undiagnosed. Former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark is joining me right now. He's currently the spokesperson for America First Action, a Trump super PAC. Good to see you, Sheriff. Thanks very much for being here.
My pleasure, Maria.
So what do you think is going on here? I mean, extraordinary issues that we are following. Stephen Paddock with his 47 guns and his planning so meticulously, getting the hotel room that he wanted. What do you think the motive is?
Well, I want to downplay the role that motive plays in any of these investigations, whether it be Sandy Hook, the Orlando nightclub, Fort Hood, San Bernardino. And not so much the why is important to me, but the who. Who did this? I want to make sure, as an investigator, and I don't have inside information on this investigation going on in Vegas, but as a trained investigator and experienced, I want to make sure that we get all the actors, the co-conspirators, the people who might have helped plan. Because when we learned the motive of Sandy Hook and Orlando and Fort Hood and San Bernardino, it didn't bring anybody back. Look, 59 people are dead, 500 injured that'll be traumatized for a very long period of time. And so nothing really is going to change learning the motive. The motive is pretty clear to me. This guy wanted to slaughter people. It's like saying, why does a guy rob a bank? Because he wants money. So I think that's more important, the who, than the why at this point. And this is the tedious part of the investigation. Things start to slow down for the investigators. It's like emptying a box of a jigsaw puzzle. First, you have to turn all the pieces upright so you can see it. Then you sort them out. So now they're sorting through the evidence. I'll be doing a lot of evidence testing, forensics, to make sure that the weapons used were the ones that were fired. Were there other weapons? Were there other actors? Those are the things that are more important to the investigators than the why at this point.
Sure,
of,
sure. Well, that's why I ask you. I mean, you are a trained investigator, so what are the authorities looking at right now? I mean, we thought maybe we would have some good intelligence after the interview with his partner and the girlfriend, live-in girlfriend, Miss Danley, and yet the FBI is not releasing really what they learned from her. Where do you think they are in the investigation? What are they turning over right now to try and get a better idea of what drove this guy?
Sure, and I don't want to get too much inside of their heads because, like I said, I'm not inside. But, going back to my experiences, they're going to go back over the witness statements. There's additional people they're going to want to interview. This is going to take a very long time, and I understand that the public gets a little restless at this stage because a lot of not new is coming out, and they want to know. We all want to know. But the fact is we have to let these people do their work. They're good at what they do, both the local investigators and the federal authorities, and they will give us the information when they deem it important and necessary. But the spoon feed and the drip, drip, drip of information, I think, can hurt sometimes because people start to fill in the gaps of stuff they don't know, and then all of a sudden conspiracy theories come out and things like that. So patience is what I always preach. These people are good at what they do, and at some point there'll be a final report as to everything that happened here. Maybe a better motive will be determined, but I still think that motive sometimes in these things is overrated. I think the guy's motive is he wanted to kill a lot of people.
Right. No, I understand that, and I agree with that. But we're just trying to understand what was going through his mind at this point. I mean, it was like sitting ducks there. Is there anything that the country should be doing to better protect ourselves, to not have a person be able to get in such a position to go so high up and be able to just shoot in a barrel like that?
Yeah, what we always learn from these things is that people saw some things that, maybe at the time they didn't think too much about it. The see something, say something campaign, I think has to be reevaluated. We have to do a better job of engaging the public so that, we can train them on an ongoing basis. You can't just say, see something, call police or call 911. I mean, see what, right? So I think a better job of educating the public, and that will engage them. Until we get the public fully engaged in this, because police are not omnipresent, it's going to be very hard to stop these things in the future.
David Clark, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.